Zachitika kuti? Zachitika nthawi zanji? Kodi nanga amene wapanga ndani? Musakhale nawo gulu lovutika ndi mphekesera ayi. Tapangani subscribe ku Malawi Daily Headlines lero kuti zochitika mdziko mwanu momwe zisamakuphonyeni.
Kasungu North, and then we call it a day.
Thank you so much, Chair, for giving the chance to the people of Kasungu North to ask a question. My question is very simple. The Minister, Honorable Minister, you talked about the gunshot. May you please help us, maybe giving us, this committee, the name of the person, the witness that said that there were some gunshots. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, you can take those two questions.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and the Honorable Members. Let me thank the people of Doha Kasangazi and the people of Kasungu North for their invaluable questions. Let me start with the Kasungu North. As I said, I will repeat, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members of the committee, that I'm not a witness of facts. Whatever I have related to you are matters which I've extracted from the 3 reports which I looked at. I therefore invite all members to take time to have a look at my report which I've just submitted this morning. It will be very detailed. Wherever possible, cite the exact pages where I extract the matters which I've relayed to this committee. I said I've got my 3 reports with my notes. I don't believe I have the time enough to start going back to those ones and search where my notes are. But if you go to my report, which I've just given you, Honorable Chair and members of the committee, there will be relevant pages where I extracted the particular matters which I've related to. Therefore, when it comes to the issues of gunshot, what I read from the Commission of Inquiry report, it acknowledged that some witnesses alluded to or mentioned that there were gunshots. Simple. It never went further to investigate those matters. And when I read it, Honorable Chair, in my opinion, I thought that those are matters which the Commission of Inquiry should not have just have glossed over. They should have gone deeper to identify those people and probably question them further. And that's what motivated me to allude to that in my written report to His Excellency the President. So I don't have to be put at the corner, Honorable Chair, to identify witnesses because I don't have any. It's a matter which, if the committee wants to pursue further, it can pursue further. Let me go to the people of Doha Kasangazi. Let me start by acknowledging the matters which, the prefacing matters, which the Honorable Member informed the committee that indeed I was his lecturer and I was his Dean of Law. That notwithstanding, let me thank the people of Doha Kasangazi for the very important questions. It is very possible that it was justifiable that the government officials should wait for 4 hours before commencing the search and rescue on the basis that the plane had 4 hours endurance. It is justifiable. However, the question that I was raising and I've raised in my recommendations are that after 4 hours, where do you expect this aircraft to be? Where do you expect this aircraft to be? I thought that those are matters which the Commission of Inquiry should have looked at deeply. So I may agree with the people of Doha Kasangazi that yes, it was justifiable. Since the aircraft had 4 hours fuel, why not wait until the 4 hours last before you go on the ground and searching, because otherwise it would be in the air. Probably it's justifiable. But in my opinion, Honorable Chair, I think the moment the aircraft does not land at the point of expected landing time, that should have triggered a sense of urgency. It's carrying the vice president of the country. It has not landed. Do you really want to wait without triggering search and rescue? Those are questions which were bothering me in my mind as your Minister of Justice. Yes, I agree with the people of Lower Kasangazi that indeed I moved Parliament when I was asked under Standing Order 69. But when I moved the Parliament under Standing Order 69, it was upon getting the feedback from His Excellency the President on my report. His Excellency the President had made two directions. Number one, that he agreed with me that a fresh inquiry should be conducted. Secondly, that this fresh inquiry should not be a presidential, by way of a presidential commission. It should be by a parliamentary commission of inquiry. Those were the two directives. On terms of reference to be agreed upon or to be agreed upon by the committee. I am not here to change the course of direction that your committee, Honorable Chair, has taken. But since I was presenting the report as I did on 18th December 2025, I didn't want your committee to be surprised when reading my report that in there I had other issues which I raised. So I was trying to be as candid and as open as possible as Minister of Justice, that you will find in my report some recommendations which may not be consistent with your terms of reference. And when I'm presenting those ones, it doesn't mean that I have any intention of going back to Parliament and to move the Parliament to amend its terms of reference. That's not my intention. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
So I will take one question from Planter Malabade, Nyambadwe, Nirande, and then a last one from the Vice Chair, Zomba City South.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. My question
Is that
is Blanda Malabada constituency.
Malabada?
That's correct. My question references what the minister said. He had sought access to the reports from the MDF as well as the civil aviation. And he also mentioned that legally the MDF and the civil aviation were not at liberty to hand over those reports. However, he also mentioned that the president, if given the consent, would compel the MDF as well as the civil aviation to surrender those reports. I would like to find out from the minister why he did not take that route to seek consent from the president, as well as being a lawyer, why did you not go before the courts to compel the MDF as well as the civil aviation to surrender those reports? Thank you.
Zomba City South.
Thank you so much, Chair. And I should also thank the Honorable Minister of Justice for presenting so thoroughly. And I think you have taken away, if there are any doubts or misunderstandings as to why the committee is here out there, people I think are now clear why the committee is here. Chairperson, I just wanted the Honorable Minister to just being a Minister of Justice, and the late Ralph Kasambara being also former Minister of Justice and Attorney General, if the Honorable Minister could be kind enough to inform you, Chair, and the committee, if within the privileges of the Minister of Justice, provision of estate craft in the case of a funeral is also part of the privileges. Chair, submit.
Honourable Minister, you can take those two last questions and then we'll wind up.
Thank you very much, Honourable Chair and the members of the committee. Let me thank the people of Blantyre Malabada for their question, as well as to thank the people of Zomba City South for their question. I don't take these questions lightly, Honourable Chair. Let me start with the people of Malabada. Yes, I do agree that, in my opinion, I attempted to access the reports, or my efforts rather, I attempted to access the reports, but I was also aware of the nature of the reports, even though I've not seen those reports. And quickly I accepted in my mind as a lawyer that the people, if they were resisting at all, they would be justified because they would risk criminal sanctions if they did not have permission, or what I would call consent under the law, to testify on those matters by the president. The question as to why as minister I did not ask the president for consent, or people who issued the MDF report and the civil aviation report had ever requested consent from His Excellency the President, were resisting to provide the aviation of the President. That's my understanding. As a result, Honourable Chairperson, I was not being reckless when I said I should not insist on these reports. I therefore proceeded only on the basis of the reports which I was privy to, or which were given to me. I believe that that could be the reason why these two reports were marked, quote unquote, confidential, because of the law that regulates them and how those who issue those reports can testify on those matters by law. I hope that makes its area for clearer for Katabe North. Let me turn to the people of Lilongwe Mudi. Lilongwe Mudi had a mouthful of questions. Thank you for those questions. I hope I will be able to tackle them one by one. Some of them were subsets of the main question. The first one was I said that I'm not a witness of facts. Yet, according to the people, understanding of the people of Lilongwe Mudi, they believe that I'm stating facts. Yet I had said that I'm not a witness of facts. Let me confirm, Honourable Chair, that I'm not a witness of facts. I repeat that one, I'm not a witness of facts. However, any allusion to factual matters, I am at all times trying to quote the sources which lead me to those facts. And if you read my report, I'll be quoting pages of the various reports. I'm stating these facts on the basis of this page of the report. I'm stating these facts as a factual finding on the basis of these reports. So if wherever, Honourable Chair and members, wherever I alluded to factual matters, I'm supporting them, substantiating them with the factual findings either in the BFU or in the Commission of Inquiry report that I read. They are not facts which I can testify that I saw. I thought there should be that distinction. Whenever I'm saying, as a matter of fact, this is what happened, according to what I've read, it doesn't mean that I'm the one who saw the aircraft departing at 17 minutes or 16 minutes past 9 on 10 June 2024. it's a matter of fact which I've read, not that I saw the aircraft departing. Or when I say as a matter of fact, they say the police, senior police officers took over the lead of the search on 9 o'clock. And then at 11:35 that morning, on 11th June, they discovered the wreckage and the bodies. It doesn't mean that I was there and I saw them taking over. I'm referring to the facts as they have been found in the various reports which I'm analyzing. I hope, Chairperson, I should be very clear on those ones. I have got no intention of misleading this committee, and I had no intention of misleading His Excellency the President on the factual matters. The factual matters that I'm alluding to are the ones which I've extracted from the various reports. There was a question as to whether when making recommendations, I verified with the technical experts, especially civil aviation, especially on the issue of the radar capability in Malawi. I said, Honorable Chair, that the person that I talked to before I concluded my analysis, because of the technical aspect, was the then Director General of Civil Aviation. I called him to my office. We had if I go to back to my notes, I don't have the diary which I was writing that day with me here, but I had a detailed discussion with him so that I should understand the technical aspects. Because some of the things which I was reading in both the BFU report as well as the Commission of Inquiry reports, there are some technical things which I didn't know. So I had to verify, what does this mean? When you say AGL, what is AGL? When you say 20 nautical miles, what are those things? I had to understand before I advised the President. So I can confirm to you, people of Lilongwe Moody, that I attempted in my capacity as Minister of Justice, being a layperson in civil aviation matters and the naval technology, that I attempted to get to the experts who know these things. So I can verify that I attempted to seek the opinion of the expert and help of the expert for me to understand the technical aspects of these reports which I was reading. As to the truth about the heights, these ones you can get from the BFU report. That's why I said, Honorable Chair, when I started, that the ones that I'm going to go into detail in terms of factual background is the BFU. And I never went into the factual background in the other reports, but I insisted on the BFU. It's the BFU which can give you a picture of exactly what was happening, because they're using the GPS to track the movement of the aircraft once it departed up to the point of impact. As a result, I can only verify the heights. For me, as a layperson, in my opinion, these heights were not making sense. Because at one point you find that the aircraft, for example, Honorable Chair, the aircraft is recommended to fly at around 7,000. For whatever reasons, I have got no idea. You can read for yourselves in the reports which I've submitted. It starts changing the heights, fluctuating as high as 8,600 feet above sea level. It goes down as low as 5,300 in terms of AGL, which is above ground level. Above ground level, it goes as low as 185 feet above ground level, which is, in my opinion, in my little understanding of heights, is just too close to the ground. And it doesn't make sense to me why a crew would be embarking on those maneuvers. And I said, in my opinion, that the Commission of Inquiry should have delved deeper in those kind of maneuvers and try to understand why could the crew be embarking those maneuvers. When it comes to search and rescue, yes, I have referred to certain time frames that the search and rescue started about 4 hours after departure. Mind you, these facts, honorable members for Lilongwe Moody, they are not facts that I am creating. They are facts which are in the Commission of Inquiry report. It's very detailed in terms of the search and rescue. The BFU report does not really talk much about the search and rescue. It's the Commission of Inquiry report which details the launch, initiation, and closure of the search and rescue mission. And it says that the search and rescue started around 11:35. Or if my facts are correct, since I've handed over the report, but from my reading, it starts about 4 hours after the aircraft has departed. I'm insisting on that one. The search and rescue is starting 4 hours after the aircraft has departed. Yet, that aircraft, according to what I've read, had endurance for fuel for about 4 hours only, not more than that. Whoever was in control at that time, whoever was making these decisions at any level, where did they expect this aircraft to be? To be in the air? Are you sure it should be in the air 4 hours, yet it had the fuel endurance for 4 hours? Those are the questions which I'm raising, that when the Commission of Inquiry was making its investigations, in interrogating the witnesses, I believe that they should have gone deeper to understand these aspects of this accident, of this crash, and not just gloss over certain factors or certain facts. There was a question about the opinion on the MDF and you called the corruption charges and the any information that I may have as Minister of Justice. I believe that any Malawian who was alert to the matters which were happening surrounding the first Vice President, late Saros Chilima, in terms of his corruption cases at the Criminal Division of the High Court of Malawi, will be very much aware.
Amene osotu anali mafunso amene anthu osiyanasiyana anafunsa kwa anduna a Azachilungamo kumeneko, ndipo mmenemonso inu ndikhulupirira kunena kuti mwamva momwe ayankhira anduna a Azachilungamo. Kufikiranso nthawi ina pamene tikupatsirani momwe zikuyendera ku Parliament, pamene Commission of Inquiry yomwe ikufufuza za ndege yomwe inagwa ku Chikangawa pa 10 June 2024 ikuchitira. Kufikiranso nthawi ina ife tingoti zikomo. Zachitika kuti? Zachitika nthawi zanji? Kodi nanga amene wapanga ndani? Musakhale nawo gulu lovutika ndi mphekesera ayi. Tapangani subscribe ku Malawi Daily Headlines lero kuti zochitika mdziko mwanu momwe zisamakuphonyeni.